Kelly, my love, look at you shining. Tell us where you are. Tell me where you are at the moment.
I'm in Bali right now. I've been here for a month. Yeah, I've been here a month. So just getting myself settled and grounded in this magical island. Yeah,
And what have you
feeling
been
good.
doing in Bali?
So I've left the UK. So I had a one-way ticket to get here. And yeah, just been settling really and starting a new chapter. Like I'm turning 40 in a few weeks, and it really is, a new chapter for me right now.
Yeah.
So yeah, just had a few weeks just settling, and then I've been straight into the launch. I'm in launch at the moment. I'm in launch mode, which has been amazing, being here, launching my program, and just like, just having the Bali vibes around me and the different kind of energy really that I'm bringing to that. So yeah, feeling good.
I'm so jealous that you're there. We were just talking about doing launches and how it's really actually great to be in a different country, in a different environment, and out of the normal work environment doing a launch, because your frequency and your energy is just different, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I'm feeling that and sharing that in my community right now. I think they're feeling it as well. So yeah,
I can feel it. You're radiating. I love it. I'm like, soak me up. Tell me how is business for you, Kel?
Yeah, it's good. Really good, actually. I'm in my 4th year with Digital Yoga Academy. So I really feel like I've got the formula down. I mean, obviously it's a digital landscape and it changes a lot. So, you have to be one step ahead and ahead of the curve. Which is why working with coaches, is a great thing to do, because it keeps you one step ahead. But yeah, things are good. I've just opened the doors to the Profitable Yoga Teacher Program, which is my 6-month group coaching program that teaches how to grow your community and create and launch an online yoga course. So yeah, just opened the doors a day and a half ago, and we're up to 60K so far. The program starts on the 5th of April. So yes, working towards my goal of having 150 students in the program this year with me. So
Easy.
It's all good. Yeah, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling like open to receiving right now, in receiving mode. I've had a lot going on this week. I had my kind of 3-day virtual conference that I hosted for teachers. We had 2,000 teachers come into that. So they really had a chance to experience me and my teaching, and just to really, get that connection with people, and seamlessly transitioning some of those teachers into the program right now. So that's what's happening. But yeah, it's good.
Amazing. What's different within a launch that you do now, and your attitude and your mindset in relation to the launches that you were doing a couple of years ago?
Yeah, there's a big difference. And I'd say the main thing, it's mindset. You got to have the strategy and the mindset working together, but also it's the energy that you're bringing to it. So if I think about, previous launches of this specific program, let's say, the way I've maybe approached it in the past is, I have a number in mind. I always have a number in mind. And I have to say, I've always met my number. I've always reached my number. We talked about this in one of the very first coaching sessions we had. I had my number on the board. I've always been able to manifest that number, but it's what I have noticed is that in some of those earlier launches, I was like, it was sell. It was constant. It was quite exhausting, and launches are quite tiring anyway. But it was almost like I was bringing like a needy energy to that space. Like, I need to get to this number. Whereas now I'm approaching it in a much different, in a different way. And I think that, that's working with you, especially Jodie, has really helped me to kind of open up to receive support, not just, to open up to receive financial abundance through my launches, but also receive support from a team, not thinking I have to do everything on my own. So I think it's that. I think it's like when you decide that this is happening for you, and you trust that it's happening for you, and you know how much work you put into, like, I know how I show up with my community. I'm coming to this as from a perspective of serving my community, not selling to them. I'm serving to them, and really building and nurturing those relationships. I think you come to it with a completely different energy, in that you've already decided it's happening, and it makes you less attached to the outcome, because you know that you're doing your best in your space anyway. And if people decide to come into the program this time, they decide. And if they don't, if it's not right for them right now, it's okay. Chances are they'll come next time, but it might not be right now. So I think that's like been the key thing for me, and how I'm approaching right now. I feel really like I'm in launch phase. I'm in day 2, but I feel really relaxed. I feel confident that I'm going to hit my goal, and it just feels easier.
Wow, what a shift in energy. This is so amazing. And as you're talking, I love it. I can see all the sales coming in. And not
Yeah.
only the sales coming in, Kelly, I can see people going through your business and up leveling into your really high ticket programs.
Yeah.
It's so nice to tune into that sort of like, it's like a trajectory that I'm picking up on, and it's so different. It's almost like, if I look at your system, these doors to high ticket, like these sort of doors to mentoring and to one-to-one coaching, and you really assuming your space as an expert, they're so open now, and it feels
Yeah.
amazing. It's like I can just like see a glide, an upwards glide up to this, like, yeah, this sort of pyramid peak.
Yeah.
That sounds
I mean,
amazing. I love
I mean,
that.
I'm actually, I've actually been receiving emails from people saying, do you have something so I'm actually getting emails from teachers asking that question.
Yeah.
Hang on, am I coming
Yeah,
through
yeah, you're
okay?
back, you're
Because it
back.
said the
You're
internet
here.
is unstable. I'm here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
so
here.
I'm actually getting that now from my
Yes.
community, which was
Yeah.
always kind of a bit of a fear. Will people pay more than $2,000? Will they? Are teachers ready for that? And there's definitely teachers out there who have got an online course. There's definitely teachers who are further ahead, and actually they need that support. Like I've needed the support to get to multiple 6 figures. They all need that to get to 6 figures. So
Yeah.
it's the same really. And I think one of the other things from working with you was really about aligning with my ideal clients. So in terms of one-to-one work, who do I actually want to support one-to-one, and where are they at in their journey, and just really aligning that. And that feels it feels a lot more comfortable for me now, that I know that the teachers that I'm working with one-to-one are at a certain level in their journey, and if they're not quite there yet, then I have another course for them where they can start. So just having clarity on that has helped with my capacity, not feeling really burnt out that I have to try and serve everybody, but actually putting them into the right program for them based on where they are in their journey.
I'm loving this. What I'm really feeling is that you have totally like owned your work and where you're at right now. And I was talking to another client about this yesterday. Ownership. When you own your work and you take full ownership, and you not only wear the suit, but you own the suit, that's where you're at right now. So it's like all these people, clients who are at a sort of more advanced level than you were previously used to serving, are now coming in because they're sensing that you've taken ownership of you and all your success. And I remember talking at length about all the success you've already had, Kel. And I think you were like, yeah, it was so obvious for me to see that, but then it's obvious for someone else to see it, and less obvious for the person in front to go, okay, I did that. Yes, let me own it, and I really feel that with you. That's amazing.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the things that I never did. I would just be like, okay, tick, next,
Yeah.
and move on to the next thing. I wouldn't really celebrate, I wouldn't celebrate my wins really. And I do now. I make sure that I do. And I encourage my teachers, my students, to do the same.
Yeah.
Even those that have enrolled over the last day or two, I'm saying to them, go and celebrate, do something for you, and just mark this investment that you've made into yourself and to your business.
I
But I think we did talk about that, didn't we, in probably more than one of my sessions with you. But teachers who, you know, if you remember, I was saying that, you know, some teachers were coming in and they were dragging their heels, and, you know, they weren't necessarily getting to the end. And, you know, that was kind of not frustrating for me, but I feel like I really want to support teachers who are committed. And I think it's definitely that thing of your vibe attracts your tribe, right? So it's, you know, like you say, you owning the space more attracts the right people in. So I've definitely seen that. And with my team as well, like with my team, you know, like, I have made changes in my team, Jodie.
You don't need to say what they are out loud. I already know what you're going to say.
No, yeah. In fact, today, I have a member of my team who started today.
Amazing.
Who started today.
This is perfect timing.
So, yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, exactly. So I had the handover today.
Yeah.
So been making positive changes there. And I think, you know, the first few years of is the signal coming through okay?
Absolutely fine, yeah.
Am I coming through okay?
Yeah.
You've frozen on your end. Okay,
good.
cool. You know, if I think in the early stages, I was just doing everything on my own. You know, I was doing everything on my own, and that's not sustainable. You know, and I think you helped me get over that mindset shift of, you know, recognizing the things I heard when I was growing up. You know, you have to work hard, money doesn't grow on trees. You know, all of these things that make you feel like you have to be doing everything, which is exactly how I've always been my entire life. And now it's like, no, actually, I don't have to do everything. And it's much, you know, it's a much more successful route for me if I open up and receive the support that I need in my team, so that I can actually step into my role as CEO and be there rather than, you know, be down in the weeds, let's say, trying to micromanage everybody.
It's a great analogy, being in the weeds. I love that one. Being in the weeds. You can't do anything when you're in the weeds.
Exactly, that's it.
This is such a juicy conversation. I'm just loving it. I mean, you've been on a big journey for the past year or so. Can you bring out some of the highlights of that journey? And whatever comes up when I ask that question.
Yeah, I think, you know, obviously we started working in this time last year, really. It was kind of April time, wasn't it? Just as the pandemic began. And I invested in a period of time with you. And I think it was like literally within 3 weeks, I'd made the money back from doing a live training that you supported me with. And one of the things I always remember is the number. I think probably one of our first sessions, it was like, okay, Kelly, what is the number that you're seeing for this you know, for this training? How many people are you going to get into this? And do you remember, I couldn't see the number. I was like, no, this just doesn't feel possible. It felt like a struggle, but we worked through this. And I think I got like 80 people signing up. It was like a 10K training. So, and then it just kind of grew from there, really. We were definitely working on the numbers. So we were building up to the Profitable Yoga Teacher launch, and my goal of a six-figure launch, which we made. You know, it happened. So I think I had like 105 teachers join, and $130,000. So it's about 100K pounds. So that was obviously a big highlight for me. But what I will say is, like, at the same time when I started working with you, I was also going through a marriage separation, and like I was like right in the split at the same time. And I think that was one of my things. It was like, oh, is this the right time for me? You know, I've got all of these personal things going on. And sometimes, you know, I'd come to the session, I'd be absolutely broken from all the things that were going on in my life. And I would feel like, oh, I'm not making the most of this time with Jodie. But, you know, looking back at it, it was like the best timing for you to come into my life at that point, because you know, having that accountability to actually be like, come on, Kelly, focus on the numbers kind of thing. You know, it's just having your support there was really made the difference to me, for sure. I know that, definitely. So yeah, I think my big highlight last year was doing the 6-figure launch whilst crumbling inside and go through a pandemic. And I think looking back, I'm like, wow, if I did that whilst going through all of that other shit, imagine what's going to happen this year, you know. So I feel really grateful to you for the support that you gave me during that time. And yeah,
I think,
onwards and upwards, right?
I think when we go through big traumatic events in our lives, whether it is something like you went through or, you know, anything of that nature, what happens is that when it's processed and when it's reconciled, there's so much rocket fuel behind it, because it's almost like you've been giving so much energy to this particular situation for so long. So you're absolutely right. The fact that you did both those things at the same time, you're saying, hey, I've expanded my mindset and my possibilities and my programming of what's possible for me and what success looks like. I've expanded that whilst going through something pretty traumatic. So my expansion is not going anywhere. It's here. It's here because I expanded it. And actually this marriage breakup, moving it out the way, and this energy that's coming through, and this is exactly what I can feel from you now in Bali. It's like, wow,
100%,
you know,
100%. I feel powerful. Like I do. I'm like, now I feel powerful because I'm not giving energy to any of that stuff. And so I can just focus my energy where it needs to be, you know. So yeah, definitely, that's it.
I love that. And I love that, you know, I love that you've manifested this all at the same time as well, because it just shows you, as you said, okay, well, I can do anything now, like anything. And I think one of the things that, I don't know why this is coming in, but I'm just going to share it anyway. One of the things that, you know, high flying, high performers like you, like myself, often, you know, face at some point in our lives is like, okay, do we want to have a child? And if we want to have a child, like, how can it possibly happen with all this great stuff that's going on in our careers? And what you've been through has proven that you can do anything, and it's always gonna, it's, the situation is how you perceive it. And you've just proved that you can perceive what you're going through in such a way where, yes, you might feel broken from one day to the next, but you're going through it with grace, with ease, with positivity. You're taking all the lessons on board as you're going through it. And you learned so much about yourself going through that at the same time.
Yeah, totally. I mean, we delved into that as well, didn't we? You know, it's like, it's not just about looking just at your business. You know, you have to also, you are the business, like you know, you have to look at what you've been through personally and how that's showing up in how you're managing your business and how you're moving forward with it. And we did a lot of work on that as well. So definitely I learned a lot about myself, and I'm still learning, you know. So it's a process, isn't it? It's a journey.
Yeah.
But yeah, I
I love
feel like
sorry, go.
feel like I'm in the right place. I just feel like I'm in the right place now. I'm starting this new chapter, and yeah, I feel like I'm equipped. I've got what I need right now to take me forward.
It's you. You're the instrument. You've equipped yourself, you've fine-tuned yourself as the instrument. I love that. I just wanted to say one thing is like, I loved what you said about, you know, is it the right time? I'm going through all this personal stuff. Is it the right time? And I think that what you just shared there was so spot on. It's like, you know, so often we wait for a business coach to support us when we're at this sort of perceived good place where we're, yes, I'm ready to scale. Actually, it's really good to work with someone. And you'll find this when you do your high-end mentoring as well. It's really good to work with someone when they are going through all this other stuff, because when we come to the session and we're a little bit open, vulnerable, broken, authentic, it allows us to be really honest about what's going on. And we actually transform even faster because we're open. It's like our wounds are open and active. And actually, when your wounds are open and active, you can just transform through it all actually much faster.
Not hiding behind anything.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly that. Yeah. I love
You
this.
haven't got the energy to hide behind.
Yeah,
Mm.
totally. I totally get, yeah, it's, so I want to just actually commend you and honor you for showing up at that time of your life, actually.
Well,
Amazing.
I want to honor you for being there and showing up in my life at that time.
You called me in. You totally called me in. You were like, yeah, I'm working with her, because I don't know why
Yeah.
yet, but that's why. So Kel, is there anything that you'd like to share with anyone who is thinking of working with me, and is sort of maybe overthinking or on the fence? Is there anything you want to share with that person?
Yeah. I think, I think if you are thinking that you don't need a coach, actually think again, because I was that person. I thought I could do it all on my own, and I didn't really, I was like, do I really need this? Let's see. But I've seen my own transformation through going through that process. And I think working with you, Jodie, you just have this natural gift of really being able to connect with people and see where they're at. So I think being able to support people in that way is an amazing gift, and you definitely have it. So I think anyone who is looking at leveling up in their business and really going to that next level and opening up important parts for me in my journey over the last year. So if you're looking to be able to do that, then, and I think, for me, I didn't even really realize what it was that I didn't know, if that makes sense. Do you know what I mean? Like, I thought this is how it is, but actually there was opening up to do. And now look. So yeah, so I think Jodie will definitely support you in that transition to kind of go further in your business, because we can always go further. And I think what I've really learned from working with you is that each step of the journey, there's always going to be new challenges as you level up. It's like new things that kind of block you, and even things like the fear of success, that comes up. The more successful you get, it's like you get this fear of success. I mean, what's that about? But it does. So there's always going to be new challenges and fears that come up. And I think it's really important to work with a coach. Like if you are reaching for 7 figures, which I am, this is the year for me, it's important that you get the support and not expect that you can do it all on your own. We shouldn't want to do it all on our own as well. Thank you very much for all of your support with my business as well.
Thank you, my lover. You back now. Yeah, we got that. I got that. Thank you. I think what's interesting, I love what you said there about you don't know what you don't know, and that is so true. And I was thinking the other day, I did an organic launch, I think, like, I can't remember when it was, before I invested in ads or anything. I was so naive. I didn't know what I was doing. I literally was just picking up the phone, doing sales calls with people. And then suddenly then you start investing in ads, and it all gets like quite complex in your head, and you're like, oh gosh, now I've got to think about this and all these other things that come up, and you're like, oh gosh, I didn't know what I didn't know. I sort of wish I could go back to that very naive place where I was like, okay, I'm just going to get 40 people on a phone, great. I love what you said there, because I think so many people going through the journey that you're going through, of like being at this sort of multi 6-figure stage, and being it's this hamster wheel prophecy, or this hamster wheel concept. And it is, that's the visual metaphor for it. And I've been there, we've all been there. And it's like, when you're in it, you can't understand that to get you to the 7-figure mark, you actually need a different strategy. and you can't stay on this, because you've got no energy and no space for more sales and more financial flow to come into your life. That's just how it is. But 100%. You're so just looking at the hamster wheel. You're like, I like the hamster wheel, I want to stay on it, it feels good, the adrenaline's good.
Well, also another aspect of that is validation, and I think that was a key thing for me, from things that had happened in my childhood that are still coming through into adulthood. It's this like need of validation. So there's me on the hamster wheel, you know, lapping up all the glory of my success, because I feel like I need to be validated. And actually you need to step off that and bring more success in, because that's when it starts to really start to flow, when you've got people around you supporting you to make it happen.
Oh, I love
So yeah,
that.
100%, definitely.
I love that so much. And I just think I'll just say one final thing. And I'm seeing more and more coaches talk about this, and I just feel it's so, so important. It's making the investment into yourself, even when it feels like, oh my gosh, that's a lot of money. And maybe our programs, our mindset programs are programmed to say that's a lot of money. Wow, you know, actually making the investment into yourself, I see it like a permission slip for expansion, actually. And
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like, wow. And I'm about to make a massive investment into my one-to-one, like huge. And most people would just be like, wow, that's a lot of money. But I am like so excited because I can feel the expansion happening already. And it's like, it's that permission slip for expansion. So it's not even about, oh my gosh, I'm investing this money and it's never going to come back in. It's like, no. You have to make an investment because your frequency has to take you up, because when your intention is to earn 7 figures and have a plus in the bank, the way that you do that on an energetic level is that your frequency has to match the frequency of the million. You know, that's how we work, of the law of
Mm,
attraction, energetics,
yeah,
consciousness, call
yeah,
it whatever, quantum physics.
yeah.
That's how it works. So when you're on the hamster wheel, you've never got enough energy to actually raise your vibration to get there. So it's like,
Mm,
I love what you said. It's almost like I see when you make an investment in yourself, and you'll know this from when your clients make the investment, this whole like shift happens to get you up there. And you know, you're absolutely on that 7-figure journey. And I think you and I talk so much about this amazing journey to get you there. It's a vehicle, you know. Kelly 7 is the vehicle, right? It's like the new
yeah.
mindset that you're creating. And I just think that's so key. And you shouldn't just click your fingers and get to 7 figures overnight, because there's so many important keys and gifts along the way on that journey to that intention. And
Yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
it's so important to
Yeah.
remember that.
You're saying, you know, you make that investment, you're saying yes, aren't you? Moving up and up leveling and upgrading to the next stage.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I love that. The permission slip.
love it. Do you want a permission slip or not? All right. Well, thank you so much, my lovely. And you are just an amazing human being. I love you so much, and I love everything that you're about. And yeah, and I just think you are an absolute rock star. And I'm so excited to witness the journey that you're going on right now. And I'm just totally always forever cheering you on from the sidelines. Yeah, totally.
Thank you.
Thanks, my lovely.
Thanks.